Going to stick with the teacher theme, I think. We're talking about maths. Are schools teaching our children the right lessons?
Yes, Ben, you better explain. This is about employers asking questions about the young people they're planning to employ and what skills they have.
Yes, and it's not necessarily about whether children are being taught the right things. It's whether they're taught how to use the skills that they get at school in the workplace, because the two things are very different, and it's about practical application of things like maths. Thanks very much. Yes, good morning to you. As we were saying, it's not about being taught badly, but it's about using the skills that you learn in school in a real setting. And this is after the boss of John Lewis, that's Dame Sharon White, made headlines this week saying that some new recruits to the business have the maths level of just a 10 or 11-year-old. She says the company is now having to go back to basics and teach people how to add up properly. And she is not alone. The University Admissions Service, UCAS, says a significant number of employers say graduates are lacking the basic skills in numeracy and literacy. Another report reckons that more than half of the working-age adult population in England has the numeracy level of a primary school child. Well, of course, the pandemic means that a lot of students have missed out on weeks of school, and that could make the problem even worse. The government has promised a catch-up programme. But the big question, of course, whether the education system is too focused around things like academic qualifications and doesn't prepare young people well enough to actually use their maths and language skills in everyday settings. So in a moment, I'm going to speak to the maths teacher and numbers guru, Bobby Siegel. But first, we gave some unsuspecting young people in Manchester a little maths test.
£10% is £3.70, which means that half of that is £1.35. So £3.70 and £1.35 is £4.85. I've got £4.85 off, I think, which means that I have. I don't know. I have to use my calculator in the shop.
£37, so 10% is £3.7, half of that is 5%, and then you take that off 37, but I can't be bothered to do the actual calculation.
That's the problem now, most of the time you just got a phone with calculators on it, it's just easier to pull your phone out and go boom, boom, boom.
And work out how much change I get from £1. I feel like I shouldn't have got involved in this because I'm outing myself as a very bad maths person.
So that's £3.75. No, £3.65 or something like that.
I wish you could have heard the response here in the studio. We'll discuss those questions a little later. Let's speak, though, as promised, to maths teacher and former University Challenge contestant Bobby Siegel. Bobby, good morning.
Good morning,
look, we were a bit unfair because we threw those questions at people out in Manchester yesterday, but it really does underline that serious issue, isn't it? Basic maths that we need in everyday life. We might learn all these complex theories at school, but then actually using maths in real life sometimes is a very different thing.
Absolutely. And again, one of the things I heard in the Vox Pop just now was someone saying, oh, I'm rubbish at maths, I can't do maths. And I think one of the key things about maths is not just the competence. Obviously, you need the practical skills to be able to work out things like 10%, 5%, work out change from £1, £2, etc. It's the attitude that's so critical, because a lot of people in the UK think, oh, maths is a skill you're born with. I didn't have a maths brain when I was born. But actually, we know from sort of teaching that maths is actually a skill, like driving or dancing or baking. You're not born a driver, you're not born a dancer or a baker. And the same thing, you're not born a mathematician. You have to practice those skills. And if you come in with a mindset like a mind block, oh, I can't do maths, then of course it's going to be difficult.
But, and as I said at the beginning, this is not about schools teaching badly. It's about perhaps not necessarily the right things, because the biggest decisions that we make in our life are often financial, aren't they? Credit cards, mortgages, spending, all of that sort of stuff. And if we can't work out what the interest rate is going to be, how much money we will owe, those are big problems that we're storing up for later in life.
Yes, again, a lot of my students, when I teach them, again, I love the things like Pythagoras theorem and trigonometry, but the reality is it's probably not going to be used by most people beyond 16, 18. But when you teach them about the practical side of maths, money management, finance, how might you be able to save up for that latest sort of games console? Then they sort of light up. So I think that's where, when you're trying to grab children's attention, young people's attention, that's how you show them actually maths is a real practical benefit to their daily lives.
So I wonder what the answer is here, Bobby, because there's always that debate, isn't there? Who is responsible? Should it be the employers who say, well, look, come in and we'll teach you, or should schools be better preparing people for the world of work?
Again, it's a nuanced stance. I think it's a combination of both. Obviously, as educators, as school teachers, we want our children to feel confident at using math skills on a day-to-day basis when they leave school. But the reality is, most people in the UK are working age adults that are with employers. So there's significant responsibility on employers to make sure that when they do training, like making sure you tell staff, where are the toilets here? How do you log on to the IT system? You make sure your staff have the basic numeracy skills as well. So I think it's a two-way process. Schools can prepare children, but again, sometimes with exams, children sort of can do the thing on the day itself. But then a few weeks later, you ask them, how do you calculate 5%? They're like, I forgot, I ran it for the exam. So I think it's about making sure maths is not just seen as something like for Christmas, for the exam day, but actually it's a skill for life.
Bobby, and judging by that T-shirt on the door behind you, it's no complex equation to work out who you're supporting later.
Maybe just England. But again, again, football fans out there, you're looking at league tables trying to see, okay, if England get 1 point, if we get 3 points, do we come second? Is it better to come second than first? That's practical mathematics, even in football.
Bobby, as always, lovely to see you. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.
Bobby Seagull there.
Absolutely the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
To make it all much more relatable.
Yeah,
Like
and
Bobby
people
made
will
the
be
perfect point with
interested
the
if you can
football.
see why and how you need to use it. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.